Monday morning show. Let me see if my switches work. Do my switches work? Do my switches work? They do work. Hold on one second. There I am. I think it. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, look, my camera's slightly off because it follows me around. Hi, everybody. How are you? Give me one second while I do a little house cleaning on where I'm standing and why. It's just not going to work right now. So my computer needed a restart, or before it could open up a piece of crucial software. Hi there, and that's what caused the delay. So I apologize for running late this lovely day, and happy Moonday to everybody who is watching the NASA stuff online. It's super exciting, and it around this house it means Summer and I setting alarms for like 3 a.m. so we can watch cool things happen. So happy Moon Day to everyone, and happy Thanksgiving week to everyone who has off or who is a little off or who might get off. I don't know what your plans are. There's lots to be thankful for, and I think. Is it too early for that kind of talk? I'm in an attempt to make everybody who watches the show nervous. I'm using all of my DC cups this week to make it look like I have access I don't have. So welcome, and obviously, one of the things the morning show was premised on in many ways, was that we'd get to chit chat about, topics as they came up using like Twitter trends, because we kind of that's the majority, I think, gather spot where we kind of tip those things up, the small like morsel version, rather than going to some sort of like Facebook hole or chasing some sort of, I don't know, Substack thing. You know what I mean? Where, yeah, I know 43.7K, we're going to hit 44. I think we're going to hit 45 by the end of Thanksgiving weekend. That's what I think. Come on, let's do it. Subscribe. Okay, now, that's just, yeah. It's, increasingly one of the things, while people are looking for another place to go, is it Mastodon, is it whatever, and something's going to pop up, trust me. My guess is probably January. Like there are social media teams everywhere. There's blood in the water at Twitter, and everybody's like, whoa, this is our shot. Remember that thing I was talking about where you're like, isn't that basically Twitter but better? Yeah, that is suddenly becoming a great investment opportunity for a lot of people. So you can almost smell the smoke from Silicon Valley right now. We going somewhere? What's up? We're always going somewhere. We're going on a hype train right now. We got a hype train going on Twitch, twitch.tv/HAL_SPARKS. If you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime. I'm getting the patter down. I just woke up. I do have hanger shoulders. You know why? Because this is a long sleeve shirt, and it's been in storage, because what the fuck do I need long sleeve shirts for most of the time here in lost wages, I like to call it. Made that up. So all my, just get used to that idea that all my long sleeve shirts are all going to have hanger shoulders, right? Yeah. Yes, I could be in Buffalo. That's true. What's the new Twitter? There isn't one yet. Not fully. There's some, there's some possibilities, but nothing current. Like I said, it's a good idea. Here's what I think. Here's what I think. The Mastodon architecture is fantastic. It might just be that someone finds a better way to portalize it. You go to this site and just pop, all your stuff is taken care of. It automates some of the clunkier aspects of Mastodon and has massive servers behind it. Now, I will say that the people that do have the money to do that kind of thing are Facebook and others. So, like, Jack Dorsey or even Musk, and he could pump and dump everybody, like wreck Twitter and have everybody move over, and you don't find out till later that he actually built the site. So that's as you do an issue. So ultimately, though, it doesn't change the concept, which is you have your stuff think of it as like a safe you have with your birth certificate in it and your social security stuff and whatever heirlooms and whatever and your precious photos. You have this safe. And when you move, you take the safe with you. And the safe never goes someplace and like sits on Facebook or sits on Twitter or sits somewhere. It's always with you. You just access it through, you let other people have access to parts of it through these portals. And the portal can move. And it's much, like I said, Mastodon's much more akin to changing your zip code or your area code than a social media site. So if somebody came up with another version, like Counter Social did, or even Truth Social, which is where the shit that came from, they started a Mastodon.com, whatever, at Mastodon, at Donald Trump, Mastodon, truth.social kind of thing. That's what they built a server called truth.social, stole Mastodon architecture, didn't pay for it, and acted like they had invented it. And it's okay to use it because it's open source, but to pretend you own it is the dick move. So, anyways, more than likely it will be something along the lines of somebody coming up with a really nice, easy, somebody who takes the heft out of joining, putting your stuff on through a Mastodon architecture. And the funny thing is that once it happens, Mastodon having kind of a Ice Age name to it will seem like, well, we used to use Mastodon. That was the old way of doing it. And now we use Elephant. I want HAL.social. It's not a bad idea. Yeah, HAL.social is not a bad idea. People will think it's a supercomputer that wants to kill them, but sure. I have been tinkering around. I haven't opened it up yet because God knows. I have been tinkering with the idea of making a Mastodon server and just having, opening it up to people who do the show, who are in our chat regularly and that kind of stuff. I don't want to make it like invitation only. I would rather it be open because I'm just that way. But it might cost something, so I'll figure it out. Once I figure out what it costs and how I can, make up for that cost and kind of zero it out, I would like it just to be available. So, for that. Who hasn't been killed by a supercomputer? Am I right? I know. Back 2017, and I apologize. Back to 2017. I don't know how many times I have to say I'm sorry. Speaking of which, talking about sorry, can we go to the trends today, which are going to be contentious to say the very least? Good old Chomsky, right at the top of the list, joining, Vanden Heuvel and all the faux progressive left in claiming that, now that Russia's losing, we should allow them to keep what they stole, because if we let this go on further, the Ukrainians might win, and God forbid. So we've seen this before. Like people are referencing, I think, what he. Hold on 1 second. Is that a? Yeah. Okay. So there's no ethical value for America to denounce, for example, South Africa's apartheid. This is vice profoundly misguided and like the past. The kind of viewer limits. Because Mehdi Hassan tweeted about Chomsky. But unfortunately, Mehdi Hassan has blocked me. Mehdi Hassan has joined the Chuck Todds. This is largely about like Chomsky wanting to what about Ukraine, while by the way not what abouting, I guess, Israel and Palestine in this project and going in this situation. If Israel's bad, Russia is bad, same thing. But if you have a problem with a particular group, what's up? Emmanuel Macron. French miners are destroying their vehicles because, are they? By leaving Burkina Faso. I see. They're leaving Africa. That was the whole thing. What was this? France president gets slapped by a woman protester. Hopefully world leaders will now wake up to the pampering of one gender. Well, I mean, technically this is France. She did challenge him to a duel. I look forward to whatever happens at sunrise tomorrow. Okay, so somebody slapped slapped someone who was nice enough to go up and engage them, I guess, for God knows what. Maybe not being supportive of Russia. Colorado Springs. This is because of the shooting at Q Club. Beg your pardon, Club Q. And and like basically the doubling down of. By the way, I think this is the guy's dad. It's his grandson. Yeah. So this guy's grandkid is the one who shot up the club in Colorado. Yeah. Just, I mean, heartbreaking, gross, and I mean, and you can spot it. And again, like I said, the kind of talk you hear online about this shit, that about civil war and whether Trump and his ilk will spark some sort of violence and like an uprising where we'll be at war with each other and war is on and war it's a civil war. So it's never going to happen. It's not going to fucking happen. It is not. But it will spark those kind of folks. It's kind of like shitty loner weirdos who are like, they're basically like school shooters who missed their window of high school and now are just doing it as adults. It's the same mentality. They just, whatever will give them some sort of, honor point. It's the same thing that like drives like religious zealots to commit violence against women and gay people in Iran or anywhere else. It's the same fucking people. They'll just, whether or not they have a religious based excuse for it or whether they'll blame it on the abuses of their childhood or their, somehow their standing in the world has been taken away from them is immaterial because people with the same religious beliefs, people with the same, child, violence in their upbringing as a child, don't do that shit. So it ain't that. It's you. If a Muslim murders a bunch of other Muslims, it's the Muslims that were killed by that Muslim are not. It's not the fault of their religion that person took it as that way to go. Islamism as a force is a problem. And it's not indicative of the deeper teachings of the religion itself. Same thing with Christianity and Judaism. Ultimately, like I've said many times, the only prayer I have ever needed is the prayer that Joe Banks says in Joe versus the Volcano when he's lost at sea and Patricia is passed out because she was injured and they survived the sinking of the ship and they've been floating on the trunks for days and the only source of fresh water he has is one bottle of sparkling water that was in his trunk and he's been feeding it to her in a bottle cap to try and keep her alive and he's sunstroked and the sun goes down, the moon rises over the sea and he stands up just amazed, burned down to his self and says, "Dear God, whose name I do not know, thank you for my life. I forgot how big. Thank you." And then he passes out. And that's all I've ever needed. That kind of sums it all up for me. That's how I feel. By the way, how do you feel? Let's look at you, chat, before we get into this other stuff. Yes, we love Joe versus the Volcano references. Good to see you. Yes, there's so much that, I mean, that and defending your life, that has salvaged me from many a sorrowful cliff in my life. So, yeah. That's good you feel that way, but I feel the opposite. Opposite of what? No notifications again. I'm being shadow banned because they do not. The mainstream media is the big tech is censoring me. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna just keep hammering along, and you know what's gonna happen? It'll ebb and flow in the digital algorithm and realize that there's so much coding in all the shit that we watch and do and everything that it was never a human hand on it. It's just the boat was floating in the giant sea of code. That's where we are right now digitally. I am Magoo. Um, oh, thank you, Eileen. Um, and 65, Melissa, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Melissa. Happy birthday, Melissa. Happy birthday, Melissa. Hope you got someone to kiss ya. All right. I'm the one who can't figure out my mic on Saturday during the meeting. Oh, hi, Water Goddess. Oh, I see. Well, you were lounging in bed. It was nice to see you then. There you go. Um, it wasn't. I have to say, it was really a good time, and Ben and Paul and Kimmy putting that thing on was really great, and it was nice to, it's always nice to share a stage with Frangela. It's sometimes nice to share a stage with Eliza, and just, I don't know why she has a thing with me. I don't know. I don't get it. I try to figure it out, but at a certain point, you just, you gotta just like that horse is not supposed to pull my wagon, so I'm just letting go of the reins. But like technology wise, I'm just gonna say it. Less weed, more pre-planning. That's all I would say. You think so, Marcus? You think it's like elementary school? I doubt it. I don't know. I think it's a relative permanent hostility. I think it's like a wave that's always on. It's like, in, like Cyclops in, the event in, the X-Men. Like if he doesn't have his glasses on, the blaze of his lights just comes out of his face, and it doesn't really matter who's in charge, good, bad, doesn't matter. It just slices you in half. It feels more like that. Because I mean, if I could track it back to something, there you go. I usually agree with Mehdi Hassan, but he's lost his perspective on the special counsel. Oh, is that why he's mad at me? Okay. Does she like you or not like you? I don't know if it's, I would not be so arrogant as to take it personally. It might just be a general sourness. It might be me. I'll tell you what, if it's me, I'll take it. I'll take anybody's unearned anger if it means that it's like a repository for their anger where they don't release it on other people. Because it's not, as long as they're not raising a hand to me, I give a shit. I'm like, this is, even the conversing about it is making it bigger than it actually is. But anyways, like they had one of the Mimo Vivo cameras, 4 hand mics, a little mixer, and then they were sending it out through the Wi-Fi. And I was like, and they did have a little projector, which I thought was cute, to project the audience monitor onto the wall so you could see that. That's cool. However, I gotta say, it needed. I would have just, had I known that was going to be the level of technology, I would have been in danger of showing up 2 days early and helping them set it all up. You know how I get, and I would have brought like my little spare Elgato camera that is actually going to be, since I upgraded to this one. The patrons, you will be happy to know that this camera that you helped me get earlier is going to be donated to Chris Bono so that he can do his art show, because he doesn't currently have a good enough webcam for that. So with your blessings, I would like to pass on. I'm building a little kit of stuff that I don't need anymore, that I've shifted past, and I'm going to try to do my little tech intervention that I do sometimes, like I did for Stuttering John, do that for Chris. So I will make him do a video thanking you guys as well, because the gear comes, largely from our patrons helping build this. So thank you guys. Also, starting after this holiday weekend, there's going to be some big changes at Patreon, some big updates. So to everybody it's just been kind of like sitting on the vine. We're getting a big makeover there. So I feel terrible about how lax that's been because I've just been like I said, like doing the show feels like I'm building a race car on the track. And so because I started, once I've tourniqueted some of the other problems, I'm finally getting the point where there's a level of stability. And with that, I can start doing the stuff I want as opposed to I need. You gotta handle the needs first before you can get to the wants. And I appreciate you guys for your patience and understanding as we built this thing, because I didn't think like it would turn into what it turned into. Like we now have just in this morning show, I would like to say, bless your hearts, just in one chat, like on our smallest chat, which would be Twitch, I think, more people than we had in the first 4 months of the YouTube show. When I first started it at the beginning of COVID. So, as like I said, as I've been, trying to like get this up and spread it and kind of, but not turn it into something. Again, I don't want. I'm not paywalling anything, and solving that has always been a hard thing. We talked about this before. I won't go to. Anyways, Twitch chat is the best chat. Look out! Look out! Shots fired. Twitch Master Race. Don't do it. Don't do it. And by the way, trolls. I haven't said hello in a long time. Like somebody was bringing up that there might even be a troll in here somewhere, and they tend to pop up whenever I put the chat on screen. So I would like to say welcome. I'm sorry about your miserable life. I'm glad you found a way to make I don't know what the pay scale is because it was a growth industry and then the bottom fell out, and God knows with crypto what the fuck you're going through right now. Like your job pays a third of what it used to, and you're getting you used to get $2 a racial epithet, and now you're getting like a quarter. It's rough. That's why you guys are so angry about inflation, because the ruble just does not go as far as it used to. And people are a little thicker skinned, quite frankly. You burned it out, man. After a while, even the worst wounds become numb. And so, it just kind of, I don't know. But I'm glad you're here. You're welcome to flap around. Watch your mouth in terms of the kind of more vile language and stuff. Like if you get into direct threats and violence and racial epithets and directed bigotry, then you got to go. But anything short of that, you're welcome to stay here. Nobody gives a shit. And I will tell you, and this is, I guess I have to tell you, Alito is not the leaker. We'll talk to that in a second, KDR. I will say this, that I'm going to sort of almost apologize on behalf of the chat a little bit ahead of time, that nobody's going to get as upset as might, you're not going to get that sweet fear juice you get over it, in the other chat rooms. It's just not how we roll here. Like you might find a new person that doesn't know that it's cool, or that they're like, oh wait, all right, we're allowed to not give a shit. Yes, you're allowed to not give a shit. Yeah. So you might snag one of them occasionally, but it won't last. So I'm sorry if you pushed all your chips in, and now you're pushing your own stool in. It's a living. And to quote Guido the Killer Pimp, no doubt a hero of yours from Risky Business, in a sluggish economy, never, ever fuck with another man's livelihood. I'm starting to get a stomach ache, and that's you. And that's okay. And so I would never do that. But as you sit there, deflated, confused, angry, and yet well-fed, warm, with a myriad of entertainment options that would make a king greedy and envious, from millennia old, while you sit there refusing to count your blessings, to own the libs. I'm just going to tell you, because I'm your friend, you're giving yourself cancer. Stop it. You are. So, anyways, that's it. A lot of them quiet down when I do that, so they'll pop back up. It'll take them a moment once we start talking about stuff. Kirchner says the leak came from Alito with proof. Yeah, okay, so the Alito one, we'll get to that in a second because I don't know if that came up on there. And yeah, so the here's my mask, here's my coast, here's my hive, here's my pillow fort, here's my plunger, here's my R2D2, here's my, sorry, I had a tag on my shirt. It was, I don't ever wear this shirt. It's clear, I know, I got hanger shoulders. I'll fix it. The fuck is Hive? Right. That's what everybody's doing. Like, Hive is yet another, like, tribal. Here's the problem. Names like tribal and hive are exactly the opposite of what we need. We're far too tribal. We hang out with our hive too much. The whole point of social media is to expand out into, however tepidly, into other groups. So, the Alex Jones thing is up because of the gross cartoon that Elon Musk put up of this, like, or no, he did the suffer little children thing. And by the way, just offering that Trump is back on Twitter has driven down traffic at Truth Social, which is fucking hilarious. Now, Chocolate and Chip are the names of the turkeys, which were both pardoned. Here's Joe Biden asking them a couple of questions about whether they knew Paul Manafort. And yeah, Chocolate and Chip. Look at this. Oh, and there's Hunter. Look at that. I'm going to live. Good Lord. That is I mean, I can understand where, like, this is one of, if you saw that thing's neck and its just face, you'd be like, you can understand why Biden, if he was a little tired, might go, this is my one opportunity to talk to the former president and ask him what the fuck he was thinking on January 6th. Man, things are fucking huge. And by the way, these kind of, traditions and ceremonies and that kind of stuff, largely looked at as silly or performative by especially the hardcore activist class. I would like to say to them, especially the ones where my beliefs and their beliefs fully overlap, fuck you. Don't throw paint on art. Don't shit talk the pardoning of turkeys and that kind of stuff. The whole point of life is that we solve the bad problems so we get to more of this stuff. And the idea of, like, well, we can't have any of this stuff until we solve all of this stuff. If that was true, humanity would be a Darwinist, like, fight, like a dog fight nonstop. Because that's the nature of life. So yes, I think this is lovely, and I appreciate these kind of things. It's why I grew to like sports, even though I don't like sports. Nikki Haley, ladies and gentlemen, we present someone who's going nowhere fast. Now is no time to reject our country and replace our principles. Now is the time to apply them more fully. Yeah, you're not going to go anywhere with that one. At the Cornerstone Church, we need more women and men and women of God back in government. You mean now that Trump is gone? Tested the waters into 2024. Yeah. The Republicans will put her in a position where they're like, we can have her be our vice president. Because I got news for you. Democrats will vote for a woman. Like a majority will. As a matter of fact, a majority of Americans will, because Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. A majority of Republicans will not vote for a woman, including Republican women. This ain't even like women are 52% of the electorate, therefore we should be able to have, a conservative woman and a liberal woman running against each other and have it be it ain't going to work that way. We think that because we think that with our brains. Like, if you think there was a glass ceiling on Hillary Clinton, holy shit. Also, that's that. Yeah, it won't matter. She can be eminently qualified. She could be a stable conservative voice that harkens back to old Republicans where they didn't stray very far from what most people wanted. It was just like, I don't argue. We both agree on the problem. I just have a slightly different take on how we should solve it. Like that kind of like, I guess, Reagan Democrats, Obama Republicans, that kind of zone of human beings. Those people might show up for somebody like that. She could be totally qualified in that front. The vast majority of Republicans aren't going to vote for her. And she's Indian. She's like, that also will be a problem for them. Seriously. Is it 80% of them that have that kind of, racist issue with it? Nope. But 20% will fuck you in a primary and will absolutely kill you in the general. So it's literally her potential for being if the Republican Party even exists in the next few years, we'll see. But the potential for somebody like Nikki Haley being president is decades off. Manhattan, are we talking about the place or the, okay, I just meant it's a dream country. Oh. Manhattan DA's office has moved to jumpstart its criminal investigation into Donald Trump. Oh, I see. There you go. Manhattan prosecutors again consider a path towards charging Trump. Yeah, it's going to happen. I mean, he knew this was coming. His lawyers are saying it's coming. We've been talking to them. They're not giving us a break on anything. They're not offering anything up. We even tested the waters in some of our meetings, and they're not going anywhere near like a plea or a break or a fine or a settlement or any of that shit. They're like, you can pay a fine, no jail time, and you don't have to admit guilt, blah, blah, blah. They're not moving on any of that shit. His lawyers know that. They've said it to him. That's why, like, his Truth Social ones about, like, this is so unfair, came out the other day because he had just had that conversation with them, I guarantee. And you can look at the timing of this. Yeah. They know it's coming. And this is the dude who keeps throwing bricks at gay establishments in NYPD, in New York, in Manhattan. So weird. And it's the dude is such a wuss. Like, he runs up and he kind of like, it's not even going to break the window. He just lightly chucks it and runs off. And he's done it multiple times. He's just like a gadfly vandalist. And by the way, I would like to say to all of our dear Antifa friends who think they are fighting fascism by attacking buildings with Molotov cocktails and rocks and bags of soup, whatever the fuck, you contribute to this. First person who throws the punch, or the second person who continues the punch, if they can de-escalate, especially in these situations where it was apropos of fucking nothing, you make it okay. This guy thinks he can throw a brick at something because he watched what went on in Portland, and he's like got a, well, I guess they're not going to get arrested, and he's heard all this bullshit on Fox News and stuff about how they don't even arrest anybody, they don't even get busted. So why would he think there's going to be any ramifications? There will be, by the way. It is illegal, and he's going to get busted, and he's going to go to jail because he's a putz. But if you engage in this kind of political violence, you approve that political violence when other people do it. You can't go, hey, not on my side. It doesn't work that way. Bags of soup. Thank you. We have huge bags of soup going on in the chat and Twitch. Yeah, Manhattan prosecutors have moved to jumpstart their criminal inquiry into Donald Trump, again focusing on hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. Hilarious. That's good for the marriage. I think re-upping that one. Good times. Yeah. Holy smokes. That's a pretty picture. That's down where the John Wick Hotel is, or isn't it? Yeah, this dipshit. So Stormy says she and Trump had sex only once. I guess if you want the guy to screw you repeatedly, you have to be one of his voters, right? Again, like, how long did it take for her to come around to that shit? Catherine, hopefully not the great. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so this is all about Catherine Deneuve. 21 reasons why celebrities stop being. Oh, it's a promoted tweet. Let me show you how this works. See this promoted tweet, Pets Reporter right here? Click on this. Not interested in this ad. There you go. Super easy. And sometimes I just go hunting for them. It's just fun. You just scroll until you see something come up that looks like an ad. And you're like, oh, yeah, I can pass on that one. Anytime you find one in your main feed or something, you just click on those three dots, and off you go. Barkley, no surprise, just got on CNN and lied, talking about how black people are the main ones to treat members of the LGBT community with the most hate. How many biscuits does he? Okay, whatever. Oy, all right, I'm not going anywhere near that conversation because it's gross. Southgate, this is something to do with soccer, and I wish I gave a shit. Awakening, oh dear. Okay, manga, and then Brazil, fake elections over all of the globe. Brazil has had enough. The awakening has begun. Yeah, is QD down there? Was contaminated with legal what? Former president. Okay. Lots of manga. Okay, super fun. Say their names. This more than likely has to do with what's going on in Iran right now. Let's see, Green Movement, 18-year-olds. Oh, yeah. Because of the soccer game that was going on this morning, she was killed. Serena Esmailzadeh, 16-year-old, beaten to death by the Iranian Republican Guard for standing up for her rights. She set herself. This girl dressed as women aren't allowed in the soccer stadium, so she dressed herself up as a boy because she loved football and she wanted to go see a live game. And she was arrested. And when they gave her her sentence, which was years and beatings and whatever, she set herself on fire. Just fucking heartbreaking. Like the absurdity of this shit. Yeah, network traffic data shows a major disruption to the internet service in Iran as mobile internet service is cut off for many users. The incident comes amid a wave of new protests over the death of Mahsa Amini and reports of casualties. So they just cut it. I mean, it's basically like look at this line right here. This is like nighttime and daytime, to the normal shifts in traffic. Peak times where they you could tell they throttled it, but then right here, that's just a drop. Just cutting it off. I have to be careful scrolling through this because some of the footage, some of the footage is pretty brutal. Just heartbreaking. And the, man, there are a lot of Iranians, like, Persian people, most of them call themselves, it depends on who you're talking to, in Los Angeles and in the Beverly Hills area. There's a big Persian community. A lot of people know I'm a Mason. A lot of authoritarian governments don't allow Masonry because we're democratic. Everybody is equal. We talk to everybody as if they're equal, and we're secularly open. So you can be from any religion or spiritual belief. And in the lodge, anyways, we don't talk politics or religion. We just interact as human beings. It's crucial. Part of the whole, it's healthy. Anyways, the Iranian Grand Lodge, it meets in exile in Los Angeles. They cannot meet in Iran because the whole, like, being okay with other religions and allowing for the democratic choosing of leaders, through secret ballot is frowned upon. So there you go. So it's like I've met those a bunch of those guys, and they're just good and decent men, and they should be able to do it. They should be able to have their meetings and speak their truth and be themselves in their country, and they just cannot. Oh dear! It took about 2 seconds for the trends to change while I was speaking. To Chomsky's still at the top, but for some reason it's interesting. 2,912. Stormy Daniels at 4,600. Emmanuel Macron's at 26. I don't know what the standard is for what gets to the top, and it's certainly not alphabetical. Yeah, the question about, like Amy Coney Barrett urged to step away from gay rights case because of her, no. Because of gay marriage, right? Again, it is way harder with the ruling that they did on Dobbs, on abortion, kicking it back to the states in their mind. It assures the codification of gay marriage throughout the states, because the whole purpose was there are certain rights that are mobile and others that aren't in this idea. And so their own argument will tie them in a knot about, certain states being able to outlaw it as far as people having tax rights, which is really the biggest thing. Federal tax rights and federal filings and the ability to open a business and all the anti-discrimination stuff that goes with it that are different in terms of their argument that they made to, overturn Roe v. Wade than they would in this. Do I think that'll stop them from trying? No. But it makes it way harder because they tied themselves up in this. Urge to step away from, please. Okay. Look, guns. Right. Yeah, this dude's yes, all this. And then there's like and this Matt Walsh, the dude, what is a woman dude? This prick. His whole thing is that they only want to use this to was arrested for felony. Sorry, the shooter in Colorado Springs was arrested a year ago for felony menacing and first-degree kidnapping. The DA decided not to press charges. This is yet another case of violent criminals set free to cause more harm, but the left has no interest in talking about this problem. Here, okay. Now, this is the part where the people that have problems with what I'm about to say will, I guess, question how left I am or something, or say that, well, you're not far left. Well, who gives a shit? It's like saying if I say conservatives believe this one thing and they're like, well, that's far right. Well, then disavow it and tell me what you actually think. Well, what I actually think is that the DAs that do this kind of stuff, release people, who are engaged in violent crimes, including things like kidnapping or using a gun or a weapon of any sort, a knife, in robbery or burglary, those kind of things. Those folks need to be held without bond, and unless there's an extraordinary social architecture that keeps them there, like an entire family that says, we'll keep an eye on them. They'll stay home, and they're, they house arrest, like full on, that kind of stuff. Not, this kind of back and forth, because you're tacitly okaying whatever the next crime is. Also, the victims of nearly every criminal, with rare exception, look like the criminal themselves. So race to race, most of the time, white to white, Asian to Asian, black to black, like most of the time, the vast majority of crimes, the victims look like the attacker. And so if there's some sort of like racial equity thing, like they were trying in, like with Chesa Boudin and others about releasing criminals, then there is no equity towards the good of the victims in this case. You are simply just setting that person loose to do more stuff in that community against more of those people, because an individual will, that's engaged in violent crime, if they're going to have 2 or 3 or 5 victims over the course of a period of time, especially if they're released on bail, those people are going to be largely impoverished, of the same racial group or another minority. Odds are that's how it's going to work out. There is nothing racially equitable about it. There is no like support for the community by releasing violent people back into the community, because the victims themselves are a larger swath of the community than the perpetrator. You're talking a 1-to-1 ratio at minimum, and if you include the family of somebody who's been victimized, imagine yourself somebody who was related to a kidnapping victim, or someone who was sexually assaulted or robbed at gunpoint or murdered. The rest of the family are victims as well. I think a lot of the equity conversation we need to have in this country about rehab and about rehabilitation specifically, and taking care of communities that have been underserved, is a massive push to help and support victims of crime after it's happened in the short term. We've done it with rape crisis centers. I think the same thing would be valuable for people who've been held up at gunpoint, because those kind of things can spiral out of control. That's when somebody buys a gun, has it in the house, then it's stolen or misused, misplaced, and then it ends up, causing more harm down the line. There are ways to limit that stuff by having those that are victimized not turn into victimizers either accidentally or on purpose, by like, oh my God, this person got out, and if I don't do something, they're going to kill me. And so then you get, women who are in domestic abuse situations who kill their abuser, those kind of things. That's prison is primarily for, this is my opinion, prison is primarily for arresting people who commit crimes. Taking people and stopping them. The word arrest meaning stop. So that they have given up their right to walk among civilized people for a time until they either cool off and can come back to society, or forever, depending on the level of crime that they've committed. Because the vast majority of every community in this country doesn't commit crimes. The vast majority of every racial group in this country does not commit crimes. And so to release people back in and go, well, we've got to really give them a break, does not give the people who are the victims of those crimes, who often look like the person who we're talking about in each community, it doesn't help them any. All they know is the person who did it is down on the corner. And this is no different than the sort of Hatfield-McCoy era stuff that happened all through eastern Kentucky and Tennessee. And it took, finally, when state police finally came online, and you went away from like the sheriff system throughout eastern Kentucky and Tennessee, where the local constable was related to one of the families in a couple cases and would engage in these kind of tit for tat killings and letting certain people off if they were related and giving other people unfair sentences if they weren't. It took state police systems to come in there and finally scoop certain people up and shuffle them off. And it was amazing how once you got rid of the main bad people who were doing the harshest crimes for good, a lot of those communities settled, not below the extreme that they had. So, that's the short version of my argument about this. And to clarify, I brought this up the other day with there was something like Titus tweeted about this or whatever, and I want to restate this. While the crime bill had some impact on how judges treated certain crimes, it had zero effect on mass incarceration. Zero. Mass incarceration specifically came from the fingerprint system and VICAP. The Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, which caught criminals who went across state lines, moved from town to town, taking their little murder kit, rape kit, theft kit, whatever, with them, and then when they got caught, giving a different name and then moving. That ended between 1993 and 1999. And so repeat offenders started going to jail en masse because all their crimes were now committed under one name. Anybody who wants to at me about that, feel free. It is indisputable, trackable, and obvious. So, that said, love you guys. Let's go back to where we were. And by the way, somebody said something about the laptop thing. Diagram 65. There we go. Let me see if I can pop this up. Can I do that? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Why would Rudy hold on to the laptop and start yelling about it just before the election in 2020? Well, it's funny you should say that, because the other day I stumbled upon some John Paul McIsaac videos that I'm making a sort of compilation video in I guess preparation for if they end up trying to bring him to testify in front of their committee, which would be fucking hilarious. About his changing story about when he got it, but the fact that he got it in October of 2019 and it was in Rudy's hands by January, allegedly. Meanwhile, the hard drive itself was one that Rudy picked up when he flew to Ukraine, later in the year, and they were trying to mix it. They basically were trying to, like, how do we seed this corruption story into however we can do it. We'll try every. It's like a thief trying to break into your house. They try the screen door and then the window, and then they finally they crawl through a basement window or through, like, they realize the screws on the vent in the attic are off, so they go in through there. That's what they were doing. They were going to get this story of the alleged corruption of the Biden crime family. They had this, like, gamed out. How do we go from crooked Hillary to crooked Biden? We can't say crooked Biden, so we got to come up with something. And they're jealous that Hunter made a living, so because the Trump kids couldn't do it on their own. And so they're basically like jimming a window, rattling a door, trying to find a way in. Like Rudy, they tried it at the Keith Ablow's house, and then they tried it through the dropped off laptop by the guy who's like smells of liquor but stays 10 feet away from. My name's Hunter Biden, from the dude who can't see 6 inches in front of his face, but 6 inches in front of his face, and so they tried multiple ways to get in there, including, by the way, Trump trying to get the investigation started in Ukraine. That was yet another way. That was them, trying to bust the screen door, and it didn't work. So yeah, it's silly. Oh, sorry, is my ponytail flipping? You don't like is it annoying? Sorry. Or is that me? Okay. Then hashtag GOP domestic terrorists is trending this morning because of this dude. Yeah, that makes sense. There you go. The United Church would rather see two men holding hands than two men holding guns. There is a pushback in the evangelical movement, and we'll see if it has any legs. That, like, we need to be done with Trump, and we need to, move away from politics and reclaim our spiritual worth. Colorado Springs Club Q shooter and his MAGA grandfather, Randy Vopel. Interesting arm signal there from Randy. He's just doing a low one. Or was he trying to get everybody to put their hands in? Whatever, who can say? That's brutal. The New York Times cover. Fuck. Belonged to Hunter Biden. The data. Okay, CBS 4 hours. CBS has obtained data from a laptop purported to have belonged to Hunter Biden. The data came directly from the source who said they provided the FBI under subpoena. All right, let's hear it. Hold on. I want to hear it. Purported. There's a lot of purported going on. Let's see. All right.
Subpoena. And we commissioned an independent forensic review to determine its authenticity. Senior investigative correspondent Catherine Harrods joins us now with what we found. Catherine, I'm very interested. Good morning.
Good morning, Tony. These House Republican investigations are coming, and that could be a challenge for the White House as we head into 2023 and 2024.
Or not.
The laptop data we had analyzed showed.
First of all, if you have a hard drive, the source of it is yet to be determined. Calling it a laptop is a lie.
No evidence it was faked or tampered with.
Mm-hmm.
Digital forensic investigator Mark Lanterman was previously a member of a Secret Service electronic crimes task force.
There was one.
Oh my God, there's the Oh, it's not. That's his laptop.
Thing that got my attention, and that was a voicemail.
It's Dad. I called to tell you I love you. I love you more than the whole world, pal.
Yeah, who has voicemails on their laptop? They hacked a phone, fuckstick.
Can I get some help?
That voicemail, apparently from Joe Biden during his son Hunter's drug addiction,
Yeah, from his phone, which was hacked. We know.
is one of many findings Lanterman used to authenticate what is believed to be Hunter Biden's laptop data.
Okay, first of all, that's not, just because that's authentically Joe Biden's voice, if it even is, never mind. I believe it is. I think it was from the phone that they hacked, which makes way more fucking sense. Like if this was Hunter Biden's cell phone and it had shit tons of emails and all this kind of stuff on it, all the stuff we're seeing would make a lot more fucking sense, but it's not.
You're confident based on your analysis this is Hunter Biden's data and that it's real?
Yes.
This Delaware computer shop is where the laptop's backstory begins. Their records indicate in April 2019, Hunter Biden took his laptop in
Yeah, that doesn't mean it was really him.
for repair, but never paid.
Yeah, he couldn't afford $85. All that $1 billion he took out of China, and he found the cheapest Mac repair place, and he just couldn't come up with $85 to come get his shit.
After 90 days, the store considered it abandoned. Then in
No, the store didn't. John Paul McIsaac did.
December 2019, the FBI subpoenaed the store's owner to turn over the computer and a portable drive of its data.
Whatever happened to...
Oh, by the way, turn over the... hold on. Shit, hold on. God damn it. This like, I hate when they do these kind of things.
Our opinion.
Around the corner.
Hold on. 1 second.
Entire hard drive.
Back
Member
up.
of a Secret Service electronic crimes task force.
There was
Hold on.
one thing that got my attention.
Yeah, again, the audio of the call is not important. This is fucking stupid. This is just like the Washington Post review.
And that was
Just listening to shit that was... Look, the idea was Rudy Giuliani bought the hard drive in Ukraine from Russians. He brought it back over. It came from hacked stuff from the Burisma servers there, which we knew they had done, that they had not only taken stuff off of, but the Russians had put stuff in. Secondly, we know that they hacked his phone while he was over there. And they basically created a composite of shit, like the pictures and the voicemails, which again, I don't know where the fuck they're getting in a 2015 laptop. Like we use, a lot of people use like voice messaging in texting, and it comes up on message. That wasn't regularly used back then either. This is just fucking
a
dumb.
voicemail.
It's Dad. I called to tell you I love you. I love you more than the whole world, pal. Can I get some help?
That voicemail, apparently from Joe Biden during his son Hunter's drug addiction,
And again, none of this shit is new.
is one of many findings
And an independent forensic review. Metadata, or it didn't happen.
Lanterman used to authenticate what is believed to be Hunter Biden's laptop data.
Yeah, to authenticate what is believed to be. Well, then it's not authenticated. You can authenticate Hunter Biden's data. You can authenticate that something is data, but you can't authenticate where the data came from if you believe where it came from. Never mind, this is fucking
You're
stupid.
confident based on your analysis this is Hunter Biden's data and that it's real?
Yes.
This Delaware computer shop is where the laptop's backstory begins. Their records indicate
saw this
in
already, but
April
okay.
2019,
Forgive me.
Hunter Biden took his laptop in for repair, but never paid. After 90 days, the store considered it abandoned. Then in December 2019, the FBI subpoenaed the store's owner to turn over the computer and a portable drive of its...
Oh yeah, this is the part. Okay, they subpoenaed the computer itself, and allegedly the computer itself, and the hard drive that he had copied the stuff from. John Paul McIsaac did not comply with the subpoena. He kept another copy. They didn't say, we're subpoenaing that, and you can keep, whatever the fuck you want. I mean, there was apparently some sex pictures on there. If you want to keep those for your, your spank bank, knock yourself the fuck out.
data.
Whatever happened to Hunter?
During the 2020 election, versions were widely shared by Republican operatives, including Rudy Giuliani.
Yes, that's where CBS got it from.
We have the entire hard drive.
Ah, there we go. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, the hard drive. Yes, we know. You went to Ukraine and you bought one from Russians who were over there in the lead up to them trying to destroy Ukraine. We know.
But questions were raised about whether additional files were added to those versions. Then candidate Biden labeled the laptop controversy disinformation.
What he's accusing me of is a Russian plant.
CBS News
Agreed.
approached the lawyer for the computer repair shop owner to cut through the noise.
We've always had one clean copy.
We've always had one clean copy.
Obtained a copy of what he says they provided the FBI under subpoena.
So the hard drive was subpoenaed and he kept a copy of said hard drive. So it's not a clean copy. It's a copy of that copy. Is it a forensic copy? No, it is not. Fuck me, man.
Then we went to Minneapolis for an independent analysis.
Were you paid by CBS or anyone else to analyze the data?
No.
No.
I wouldn't want anyone to think that someone bought our opinion.
Around the corner, it'll lead you to what we call our imaging room.
Lanterman and his son, Sean,
Oh my God, this is like a sales pitch.
both digital forensic experts, recovered images of credit cards, a driver's license, social security number.
Yeah, we know. Hacked information mixed with fake shit to look like it came from one thing is not the question. The question is, was it a real laptop? And the answer is no.
Just the sheer volume.
Oh, fuck you. Yeah, the Russians could never come up with this much stuff.
Of what we're dealing with, it would be difficult.
No, it would not. You'd almost have, I don't know, a government trying to put it together. Jesus.
If not impossible to fabricate.
And explained how files built up over years.
It accumulated over time, which is consistent with normal, everyday use of a computer.
There's some
apparently they learned something from the earlier forgeries.
reporting about folders being added.
We have read these articles. We don't see that. So I believe that that's because we have a more pristine copy.
The laptop and its contents have fueled Republican interest in Hunter Biden's business ventures.
They have a more pristine copy. Not a pristine copy, but no.
Biden was working with Chinese nationals.
They say this May 2017 email outlining a proposed business deal with a Chinese energy firm is one reason why they have questions about whether President Biden benefited.
We're prepared to subpoena Hunter Biden. We would certainly hope that he would want to come before the committee and clear his name.
Two of Hunter Biden's former business partners include
Yes, the influence peddler Tony Bobolinsky, who brought the idea of like, hey, we could make a lot of money if they could meet your dad, and he got turned down.
including Tony
and fired.
Bobolinsky, who received the email, told CBS News the 10 held by H for the big guy is shorthand for 10% held by Hunter for his father. After the email became public in 2020, the author of the email told the Wall Street Journal Joe Biden was not involved. The author has not responded to CBS News' questions. Mr. Biden has consistently denied knowledge of his son's work or financially benefiting from it.
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business.
Last month, Senator Chuck Grassley wrote this letter alleging bank records.
By the way, this 1,000-page fucking report that came out was that the Republicans just put out about stuff like right before the midterms was literally a compendium of all of Grassley's filings about this shit. Iowa, I don't know what the fuck Grassley does other than this. It's not like his staff is working nonstop all day, just compiling the same shit in a different form. Again, trying to like, all right, we'll do a 20-page report about it from this angle. We'll do a 20-page report about the same shit from this angle. Trying to figure out like a way to jimmy the window, crack the door, tie it to a brick and chuck it through the bathroom window.
Records and financial data showed that Hunter Biden and the president's brother profited from a $5 million wire from a company connected to CEFC, the Chinese energy firm.
They're going to look at
who was president in 2017? I can't remember.
Every part of the Joe Biden administration.
Doug High is a Republican strategist.
Is he?
A lot of this is also going to be aggressive.
Well, All right. Look, I know you and I both thought this was going to be about the technology involved in the forensic audit of the Hunter Biden laptop. And what have we got so far? A guy is convinced by how many files are on there and a voicemail. That was settling it. Now, did we get into metadata? Did we get into tracking how, through how many sources the stuff came through? No, it's a bunch of guys with a couple of laptops in a nice office in Minneapolis basically going, look at those files. That's a lot of files. I wouldn't do that. Would you do that? I wouldn't do that. It'd be a waste of time. And then this is a 5-minute segment, and we're talking to a Republican strategist about forensic data on a laptop that may or may not exist.
On Hunter specifically, we're going to hear a lot about the laptop. Who profited? Was the law broken? Was it not broken?
It was not broken.
After 2 years of scrutiny, the laptop has not produced evidence President Biden directly benefited from his son's business
Fuck, you can't even produce evidence it was a laptop.
deals.
If there's dirt there, that will dirty him up. If not...
Dude, you know what's on it. These fuckers, look, these guys don't need to think it's real. These authentication stories all flop. They all die. Like the Washington Post one is super embarrassing. If they did more than like 40 seconds with these fuckers in Minnesota, believe me, it would go, wait, well, you didn't bother to, where the fuck did these files come from then? So you can't trace them at all? So you don't know what the origin date is? So the origin date could have been like group switched. There's no metadata trace? No, because they've been copied so many times. Oh, well then, the fuck are we even talking about? That will die. As soon as they bring it up, that will die. And so the whole purpose of this is just a constant dirtying. This is, if you remember any of how they treated Hillary for decades, this is the same shit.
Those attacks can backfire.
The White House declined to comment. Hunter's lawyer did not address our specific questions about the data or the CBS forensic review, but said
there was none.
There have been multiple attempts to hack, infect, distort, and peddle misinformation regarding Mr. Biden's devices and data.
True.
And at no time did any individual, including the IT repair shop owner, Mr. McIsaac, have Mr. Biden's consent to access his computer data or share it with others. The lawyer also referred us to Hunter Biden's memoir, where the president's son slammed the despicable opposition that purported to have a laptop belonging to him.
Yeah, which, by the way, isn't even the laptop he supposedly dropped off. He had one stolen. That was the one that was at Ablo's house, and he got it back. And so the idea was that they were taking some stuff off the one that was stolen, mixing it with the phone that he hacked, creating a big pile of stuff, giving him a nice dateline, having a bunch of, Russian spies sit there and kind of organize it, and then release it using Trump as a disinfo spreader. Like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, I have to say, when these come up, I'm like, finally, we're going to see a picture of it. They're going to call me out. We're finally going to settle this shit, right? They're going to bring up some version of it that I just didn't see coming. I'm going to get a roundhouse that I was just not expecting. And we're 2 fucking years and change in. Nothing. Same shit. Same Washington Post bullshit. Yeah. Bizarre. And again, most of the people talking about it, and it bugs me. Anybody who was into defragging their hard drive back in the day, anybody ever have to live through the era where you had to transfer data from an old laptop to a new laptop by copying it? There was no cloud service, any of that shit. You had to do it manually. Eventually it came on where you could, have a physical backup drive and it would automatically do it. And then you would, so you could use that one if anything collapsed. Why did this start in 2017? Exactly. Well, because the files for some reason, they don't go back any further than this. They don't go back into the Obama-Biden presidency because there's nothing to see there. So the idea is that apparently he bought this laptop. I guess it's a made-up timeline, but the assumption would be 2016, 2017, started using it, it lasted about 2 years and before he chucked it in a river and then went, oh shit, I need my dirty pictures, and dove in after it, drunk off his ass with, and we're like, oh shit, 2 more of my laptops. I must chuck these fucking things in all the time. Bought all 3 of them, brought all 3 of them to Hunter Biden, to the laptop place. And then the dude went, these other 2 are fucked, but I can fix this one for you. And all he did was copy the files and rifle through them. And then he's like, I can't get a job anymore because people think I'm a hacker.
Republicans take control of...
Hi, stupid. This is fucking embarrassing. Like, this is so aggravating. And by the way, there's nothing to this story, but the right-wingers and Grassley and all these fuckers will go, even CBS, like the people who attack mainstream media will use this as an example of like, even the mainstream media is admitting it's real. That was the same thing with the Washington Post. It's so fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. And then there's a lot of domestic yeah, so more of this guy. We don't have time. We're all right. Okay, good. And then there was a question about Alex Jones coming back on. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Because the idea that Elon Musk was going to bring him back on, and he did suffer the little children and forbid them not to come unto me, for such is the kingdom of heaven. Meaning like, okay or no or something. This was his follow-up. Elon Musk confirms he won't reinstate Alex Jones. However you feel about Alex Jones' side, I'm wrong here. My firstborn child died in my arms. I felt his last heartbeat. I have no mercy for anyone who would use the deaths of children for gain, politics, or fame. Story is heartbreaking, but this is literally just confirmation that you're making rules based on how you personally feel about things. No mercy. Well, sorry. Fuck you, shoe on head. Sorry. Like, Alex Jones is a scumbag. Like that, you don't, you know. Again, these are, this is not the public square. I'm sick of this public square shit. I believe that we will win is like related to the soccer stuff, but also to people who, like the Iranian team didn't sing their own national anthem because they do not believe, they believe it's an apartheid anthem, which is amazing that that conversation is happening. Let me show you something. I couldn't do this before because like I said, my computer needed an update. And doop-a-da-doo, move this over here, pop-a-da-doo. My computer was like, it needed a full shutdown, and Macs are a little better at coming back up, but PC's not so much. Oof, hold on. What the hell? Sorry. Like some of the shit that I end up... Whoa. Oh, God. When I have to scroll through these Telegram channels, it's fucking hideous. Like the stuff I end up seeing, and I'm like, why did I have to see that? Like, cause to keep up on some of this stuff, you know, it's all intermixed with, you know, footage that the Russians had of, you know, them torturing people and all this kind of shit. I'm like, God damn. And that's why I get so mad when people are like, we need to slow things down. Maybe we need to think about how much money we're sending to Ukraine. Like, dude, it's just so awful. Like, it's not even close. And it's not like I'm looking at Ukrainian channels and the Ukrainian channels are you know, talking about this stuff. I'm looking at some Russian channels while they brag about shit. Ugh. Hold on. There's let me see if I can do this. Nope. Hold on. Squeeze this down. There you go. This is Trump has a new, like, I guess, wannabe campaign video. Hold on. Pause. Back up. I gotta rewind it. Takes a second. There we go. And then here. This is Trump releasing this. This is on his Telegram channel.
Make an entrance. run.
Get the runs. Block the entrance. I mean...
And then make history.
Invent facts. Make history. Yes. To the victor go the spoils. Hold on.
Make a difference.
Wear a hat that doesn't fit.
Make good on your word.
Or just ride it out. If you wait long enough, people will forget you even said it.
Make it big league.
Ew. Make it bigly. Shut the fuck up. Make it bigly. What an asshole. Oh, God. Make it bigly.
But most of all,
make it large-ish.
Make it great again.
Oh, God. What? Stop fucking the flag. I think, as a Boy Scout, this whole thing offends me. Now we have to burn that thing.
Trump.
That's it? Jesus. What a campaign ad. That's it? That's the first one? Yeah, that's it. That's the whole shit. That's it. That's... Oh. That's his first... And by the way, since his announcement, I gotta say, have you guys noticed just how much of a nothing burger his entire fucking announcement has turned into? Because there's this idea, I think, for a little while that that they, once he announced, fuck, man, it's Trump 24/7, and he's going to be back on Fox News, and there's going to be, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I think more people, rather than his run, I think a lot of people were more worried, like, fuck, we have to look at this dickhead. You know what I mean? Like, again. But it's been nothing. Nothing fucking changed. No, it's kind of amazing, right? Meanwhile, let me show you this real quick on Newsmax Clips. What is the future of the GOP? Greg Kelly, we got to do this later. We gotta. I'm not watching it. We got to do this later. Greg Kelly talking to Matt Gaetz about the future of the GOP, which of course involves him as speaker and Trump as president, I have no doubt. And they're the only people fucking saying it. The only people. Yeah, totally. Leather Goddess of Phobos says in John Paul McIsaac's interview with Eric Bolling, McIsaac says that he handed over a 300 gigs of data on a 500 gig hard drive. The data is now up to 700. So not only was data added, but the hard drive itself has changed. The capacity of the hard drive on the model that Hunter Biden had wasn't even that much. Like, they had to make up the idea that there were zip files on there, which is horseshit, because you'd have to have access to his email account to download them, to get them in the first place, which you wouldn't have if it was the waterlogged laptop. Like, it's such a fucking lie. But anyways, so stupid. So stupid. It makes me laugh. It's just so stupid. I could be glad about it. So stupid. Stupider every day. Aw. Hold on. By the way, I need someone to translate Russian because I don't know what these dogs are saying, but they were found and they are safe. In the Kherson region, they found these dogs in an area the Russians had taken over in these pens, and they found them and they've fed them and they're gonna make it. Little boys. Yeah, they were in this area, big puppy mill. In the claimed areas. Anyways, I was looking for something on here, and I can't show you that, and I can't show you that, and I can't show you that. Is this one? Yeah. There we go. I'm trying to find this one. Yeah. Here's a guy who does not want to be conscripted. This guy runs up and firebombs a police car because he doesn't want to be conscripted. They're apparently scooping up people in the neighborhood. I got to do these one at a time because I can scroll past stuff that I can't show on screen because it's just the awful. Oh yeah, here it is. This is what I wanted to show you. So this morning, see this? Okay, these are all guys who don't want to be conscripted. So they've refused their orders to go to the front. And so Russia has basically staged this like mock show up and we're going to arrest you. Give me your ID. And a guy says, what's your name and your Russian number, whatever the fuck, and your birth date. And he goes, he says it. And then the guy goes, you've been found guilty of refusing an order. And officially, there you go. And this guy orders those guys over. And then these guys run down the street and grab him, all mean, twist his arms behind his back, put his head down. And then they take him down this little dog carrier and it drives off. And then another one pulls up and parks and they shoot the same thing over again. And all of these guys, one at a fucking time. Meanwhile, these guys are going to live. These guys are all going to survive the mobilization. Like, if you can't get out of the country, this is what you would do. And it's so, like, staged. Like, here's round 2. Step forward. Come over here. Okay. What's your name? What's your birthday? Da-da-da. I'm this guy. Okay. Well, I got a thing. I'm going to show us your thing. And you're on my asshole list. So, but you have been found to be an asshole against the motherland, and therefore we sentence you to a safe cell and sort of shitty food, which beats the shit out of your toes freezing off and getting your brains blown out for a war you don't even understand with half a magazine worth of ammo. Who didn't open the... You're supposed to open the fuck... You open it. Frisk him... Yeah, you gotta open it up. There's already a guy in there. Okay, we'll do it in the reshoot. It's like a fucking magic trick. Okay, now get in there. That's right. What do you mean it smells like dog? Of course it smells like dog. All of our human transportation vehicles have been sent to the front. All we have is dog catcher vehicles. Now get in there, dog. See what I did there? Okay, next. It's full now. There's a bunch of us. Well, there's no way we're all going to fit in there. This is like Operation Clown Car. Here we go. This is Operation Clown Car. We are going to see how many of you we can fit into this vehicle. Anyone who does not fit in vehicle must go to front. I'm short. Yes, you are. How tall are you? Are you bendy? Yes, I can. Are you flexible? We will do a flexibility test where we will bend your arms back. And if you are flexible enough for a flexibility test, you can get into the clown car and not go to the front. Congratulations and good luck. Jesus. Hold on, scrolling. Yeah, okay, there we go. Get past that. This is like the multiple Telegram channels that I have. But anyways, that was like this giant poser video that they put up, which was just fucking hilarious. And now, hold on. A word from John Voight.
My fellow Americans.
He means me.
Can we all speak truths so we can...
Multiple ones? Is there? So there's lots. So you agree there are different truths in the world, that there's no one truth. Interesting turn. Who got to you, John Voight?
Can see the lie that was brought upon our President Trump. And the ones who once were on his side are now finding wrong with the documents.
Terrible. What they used to be.
You see this lie. Did they ever attack Obama's home or Clinton's?
He's just repeating what Trump said. Boring. That's his Telegram channel. You want to see something funny? This is John Voight's Telegram channel. It's just all these like My Fellow Americans videos and him reading Bible verses and and him in front of a fucking flag like a Ted Nugent fan trying to do a hope has arrived because I think it was when he was gonna run. When the fuck is this? Yeah. Merry Christmas. This is last year. They've gotten much better. Like these are his old ones. And then they got a real production. Once he started that production company where they're doing the Israeli videos, now they've got a production office. They can shoot this shit. Yeah. Yes, I joined the channel. I had to be able to see stuff. That's how they get you. God damn it. And I have to watch this shit. It's terrible. It's exciting, isn't it? Has he always been like this? Not necessarily. No. He's like a better groomed Randy Quaid. He's like Grandpa Quaid. Quaid. Yeah. Wonder why he doesn't get along with Tomb Raider lady. I don't know, because they're both a bit... He's a Trump supporter? Yes, he is. Oh, he's not just a Trump supporter. He's a Trump sycophant. He would be first lieutenant in Jonestown. Like, I don't even get it. It's weird. Like, we saw that interview that John Voight did when Trump was over it. Like, I lost it so many fucking times watching John Voight's interview with him, with Trump, because he just wouldn't shut up. Like, Trump was getting embarrassed at the praise. That never fucking happens. Oh, God, that was great. I got to go look that clip up and put it back up again. We all need more ficus. I agree. Cancel John Voight. He's pre-canceled. Again, I don't believe in canceling anybody. Not anybody. If a student group brings a speaker to a school, let them speak. And then post your other speaker across the place and listen to their whole thing and wait. Don't interrupt and ask your question at the end. But be prepared to be asking a question in a room full of sycophants with somebody who's already been asked your question. That's how you have to handle those things. Darth Voight. You give him far too much credit. Yeah. Angelina's just a little wound. She's wound a little tightly. She's not bad like that. His teeth marks on Seinfeld was his career peak. Ever since Voight started Midnight Cowboy, he hasn't been the same. He might have had a big shock playing that role. It's stranger things have happened. The dude from the black dude from Tropic Thunder, apparently, because his character turned out to be gay, just like it turned him on Hollywood, apparently. He got his big shot, and he was like, all of a sudden, like this, he had crossed some sort of line in the community or in his friends group or whatever. Macht halt keine Sendung am Dienstag. You do and you'll clean it up. I think John Voight proceeded whiteout. Isn't the black dude from Tropic Thunder a white guy? No. There's a real black actor, and then there's Robert Downey Jr. plays an Australian Oscar-winning, Marlon Brando type actor who gets his skin tinted so he can play Sergeant Lincoln Osiris. Which is so fucking funny. I do think it's hilarious when people say that like he wore blackface in that movie. He played an actor who did. At the end of it, he tears it all off and he's a fucking lunatic. The point is they're all assholes. Everybody. They're assholes. Like he's a self-involved actor who would do like they're like, how far would you go to get in character? What's the most embarrassing and grotesque version of that? That's what we'll do. I'm a lead farmer, motherfucker. Simple Jack, right? All that stuff. Yeah, it was satire because the Simple Jack thing is about how that's people, action movie people and other folks try to play mentally challenged so they can win an Oscar. And then the only place they like him is in Southeast Asia. And they're like, you should have got an Osaka. Right. Yeah, and the rapper's name is Al Pacino. That's the whole joke of it, right? You had no ideas that was Tom Cruise? Oh my God, Tom Cruise is fantastic at that. And apparently, the balding character, the Les Grossman character he goes, all I want are fat hands. And apparently it has something to do with Weinstein. It was like a Weinstein gag about fat hands being like bloated fat hands being disgusting. And that he kept seeing it like when he was around that. So what did playing Zoltan do to Hal? It freed me to be my true self. Do I want to make a movie? Sure, Elisa. Yeah, Mr. Bean's a great example, too. Hold on. Yeah, Mr. Bean only works in England. Yeah, I don't drop character until after the DVD commentary. I know who I am. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude. And he starts like, he goes, man, when I played Neil Armstrong, they found me in an alleyway trying to enter the atmosphere in an old refrigerator box. Like, it's just so stupid. It's, do I still have my bubble wrap jumpsuit? Yes, I do. I have 2 of them. I said, Nance, not Lance. That's exactly right. Hey, man, everybody, it's okay. Everybody gay sometimes. Hollywood. Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. is fucking hysterical in that. And the kind of back and forth between him and the actual, he goes, maybe I'm here because they had one good role in this fucking movie and for a black man, and they gave it to Crocodile Dundee. And Robert Downey Jr.'s line is like, hey, man, that man's a national treasure. You're about to cross some fucking lines. So, oh, God. Oh, sorry, yes. Alito didn't leak that. No, I think somebody in his area did. The Hobby Lobby stuff, yes. He didn't leak it. He just said it to people out fucking right at dinner. It wasn't even a leak. He just was around, people who are activists who are talking across dinner, got them all, lubed up with dessert and a nice Chianti. And he just said it. And they emailed their friends. What happened to Hallie? Did she die? She's around. Although when I grew my hair out, she became less necessary. Here's a true story. True story. Lady lost a kid. Mother Nature's gonna piss her pantsuit. Yeah. That's the one they found out about. How many others did he talk about? That's the whole point of Lucius, is that the ongoing investigation will be, is he been feeding shit like that to the right wing for a long time now? And then the Thomases talking to these folks, flat out, Ginny Thomas would have gone, oh my God, they're going to do it. And that's how it got out. Like, do you have a copy of it? Can we see it? Oh, yes. I got it from I copied it yesterday while he was at work. Like, it's that kind of shit. It's so low rung bullshit, suburban housewife bullshit. I've never been inside a Hobby Lobby. I went in one a long time ago. Did you talk about Jason, David, Frank? I did not. Haven't seen. Oh, you mean Baby Hal? He was on a couple, like last week. I lose track. Everything says like the whole thing's just like a haze. Reset. Good point, Bill. You're watching Hal Sparks Mornings Mega Worldwide, and at 8 minutes left, I'm going to remind you that that's the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe, support the show. Twitch thing, likes, thumbs on subscribings, and also good. I've got this down. I'm a professional streamer now. Alito is trash. Reads Selena v. Texas. Agreed. She's the Supreme Court candidate. Yes. And slap the like button. Thank you. Or just tickle it. Just as long as it gets pushed, you do it however you do it. Not everybody pushes it the same way. You got to have a different style, If you're going to, sometimes you need to slap that button. Sometimes it's just a little, just blow on it a little. Sometimes that works. Ring the bell. That's right. Smack it, right. You do you. That's right. Do you know that Paul White Cain is married to Jonathan Cain from Band Foreigner? Yes. Yes. Journey? I don't think he's allowed to show little. No. Hip thrust that button. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Journey. Thank you. That's what yeah. Muster the thrusters. Yeah, I don't. Hey, man. Oh, yeah? This isn't a movie. How come you're not in character? You're still in character. I don't have to tell you. Hey, man, I don't drop character till after the DVD commentary. Please do the Satan filter again soon. Okay, that'll be good. Well, if I do a Marjorie Taylor Greene thing, he's a huge fan. 437. I know we're getting there. Come on, 44. Come on, big old 44. And once we hit 45, we can't stay 45 for very long because I don't need that shit. We need to go straight from 44 to 46. If we can stay at 46 for a while, I'm okay with that. Shit, I can stay 46 for 6 more years. Come on now. Yes. No, Flappers is not this Wednesday. It's the next Wednesday. It's after Thanksgiving. Cosmic Rose. It's not this Wednesday. It's the following. Yeah, because I am traveling on Wednesday. And so more than likely, I'm going to either have to pre-tape a morning show or something. It's like a big travel day. It's holidays. So I might have to just call it. And if that's okay with you guys, because it's Thanksgiving, Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'll be back on Friday. So I can do today and tomorrow, if that's all right. Yeah. Things get better after 45, ask the Germans. That's great. Yeah. Thanks, Schmoopy. I appreciate that. It's it's not a hair down day, no. It was down for the unpresidential thing that we did. No airport show. I'll check in, but I won't be able to do a full show. But yeah, thank you, Cosmic Rose. Yeah, November 30th. That's right. And yeah, because my kid and I are flying to see the grandparents, and we'll be there. So I'll do my show Friday from my dad's house in Kentucky. I've been there a couple of times, so I gotta pack up my kit. I'm allowed. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's rough. Well, because the thing is, I gotta say there's a very retail shop aspect of making your living this way, that even a couple of days off for whatever reason can eat into things. So, I'm sure there's an arc point that some people reach that clears that line. I have not reached it yet. So if I take a couple of days off, it's like a shopkeeper shutting down for a couple of days. It matters. So, how we need to check our JP Sears. He's a right-wing comedian, used to be Natural Living Meditation Night, but he's pushing the rhetoric now and has quite the following. JP Sears. Is it the redheaded dude? Is that the right? Hype train. Oh, thanks so much. So, yeah, to keep us up and in business. Hal, did you hear that Chris Hemsworth found out he might get Alzheimer's once he gets older? Do you think we'll find a cure for it? Yes. And I would not be surprised if he's not going to get it anytime soon. He's younger than I am. Yeah, I'm like a dairy farmer. That's right. I got to get the eggs every morning or it gets bad. So, yeah, he's the redhead dude you're talking about. Not Chris Hemsworth, the other. Yeah. We'll look at some of his shit. It's really weird. It's so over the top. He's like the Carrot Top of bad political comedy. Yeah, the Hemsworth thing, I wouldn't worry if I was him because they're making huge strides. Within the next 10 years, they're getting so close to, keeping it at bay so long that you forget to worry about it. But yeah, there's going to be a huge, in the next 10 years, the medical advances are going to be absurd. We do love our mods. Yes. Yeah, and Hemsworth too, one of his things is that I don't doubt that'll be watch him do a documentary about it. You know, and by the way, just because you have the gene that's possible for it doesn't mean it's a fait accompli that you're going to get it. That's, you know, that's not, you know, and he lives really healthfully. So we'll see if, you know, they can, you know, once they notice that you have the gene or whatever, you can track what you're doing and check your markers. Hal, where's Bobcat at? I have 1 minute left in the show. I can't do the last minute as Bobcat and still be able to talk the rest of the day. I got a show later. I'll see if he comes by at that one. What kind of floats do Kentuckians have in the Christmas parades? It's less of it's a lot of horses and a lot of guys with shovels. My grandmother and my great-grandmother both had it. Yeah, my grandfather had it. And I mean, at a certain point, your brain's just decaying. So it's not even a matter of like, is it Alzheimer's or is it not? It's just like, if your knees don't work, why would your brain? At that rate, you know what I mean? So thank you. I do. I think, and I'm the only, because you know why my Bobcat is so good? Because I'm the only person who still loves it. Even Bobcat doesn't. Some players receiving a lot of concussions now has Parkinson's in quotes. Right. Well, that's the thing, Wes. They'll read it as such because the damage is similar. I do need a Chuck Barris top hat. And short curly hair. I don't do, I don't do any drugs, but I certainly, even if I started right now and tried to catch up, I would never be able to get to the level of cocaine that Chuck Barris was consuming during this time. Shakes the Clown is a great movie. The Clown is a great movie. Go easy on plastic for your holiday shopping. Excellent point. Big, Etsy. We could all make a big Etsy thing. All right, it's 11 o'clock. You guys are going to start a whole other conversation. I like your Neil Young. Thank you. Southern man, you're a... Right. That's basically where the Florida man idea came from, was, a joke on Southern man. And at one point I was like, do I do it to the actual song? And I'm like, nah, I just write one of those songs as if. All right, Alyssa, write in English. I can't speak German. Hold on. Whoops. Copy. Here. Which city? Oh, what city do you... Oh, I see. My address is on my website. Yeah. There you go. Level 2 hype train. Even as I'm leaving, you guys are awesome. All right. I love you guys. I will see you this afternoon. The hilarity will continue. I will try and reach out to CBS News for comment on me calling their entire story bullshit. I'm still, hilariously livid. I don't even get upset about it anymore. It's just funny. But anyways, much love to you guys. I'll see you this afternoon. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And remember, if you're ever confronted with a choice you believe is the lesser of two evils, choose less evil. Okay, see you soon. What's he doing? What did you want? You're just under the door. What you doing? Bye. Say bye.